They had been together for 3 years. 3 years of laughing over silly inside jokes, cooking meals together, late-night talks that felt like they could go on forever. But lately, things had felt different. The closeness they once shared now seemed like a distant memory, fading in the background as the days went by. It was a quiet evening when Emma knew the end was near. The air was thick with unspoken words, their apartment too silent for comfort. They hadn't argued in a while, but the absence of arguments felt like a warning sign. Conversations had turned into mere exchanges of pleasantries, and even the smallest things, like the way he used to look at her, with such intensity felt distant. "I think we need to talk," Emma said, her voice barely above a whisper, afraid of the weight of the words she was about to say. Mark looked at her, his brow furrowing. He knew this moment was coming, but part of him had hoped it wouldn't. He nodded, his eyes tired, almost resigned. "I feel like we're just not the same anymore," Emma continued. "I don't know when it happened, but I feel like we've drifted apart, and I don't know how to fix it." Mark sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I've felt it too. I don't know if we can fix it either. I don't want to hurt you, but I think maybe we've outgrown each other." A lump formed in Emma's throat, and she looked away, blinking back tears. She had loved him with everything she had, every part of her heart, every ounce of her energy. But deep down, she knew that love couldn't hold them together forever. Not if they had become two people living in parallel lives. Mark reached out to touch her hand, a gesture so familiar yet strangely foreign now. "I'll always care about you," he said softly. "You're such an important part of my life." But sometimes love isn't enough to make two people fit together when they're no longer the same. Emma nodded, her chest tight. She wanted to say something, anything that would change the course of their conversation, but she couldn't find the words. She had already given so much of herself, and maybe, just maybe, it was time to let go. It was the hardest decision she had ever made. "I'll always love you," she whispered, the tears slipping down her cheeks. "But maybe we're not meant to be anymore." The room felt heavy with the weight of finality. For a long time, they sat in silence, the gravity of the moment settling over them both. There were no dramatic words, no screaming, no angry outbursts. Just two people who had once loved each other, trying to navigate a heartbreak they both knew was coming.